Donald Trump loves to make note about how he is self-funding his campaign, which is in fact not entirely true. There are donate buttons on his website, and according to campaign finance experts who check the numbers, of the almost $27 million he has raised, only $17 million is out of his own pocket. And that is mostly in the form of a loan, not actual campaign donations. But those numbers are chicken spit compared to what Trump has gained from broadcast television. Almost $2 billion worth of news coverage, much of it generated by his various verbal appearances and social media. This, the first candidate to spend more time on Twitter than any other form of media, proving how it can, and in this day and age of people wanting news in drips without context, should be done if one really wants to succeed. Our guest understands the power of platforms such as Twitter and whether anyone can catch the Donald at this point. Welcome CEO of the social media marketing firm Newsmax, Ken Wisnefski. Ken, thanks so much for joining us. Good. Let's dig right into this. Donald Trump, you can say all you want about the man, negative, whatever you want. He and his people knew the power of Twitter. They jumped on it. They have taught everybody what this platform can honestly do.
Well, Trump obviously also has a little bit of an advantage because he was already a celebrity and already had been ingrained in social media to a certain degree for promotions for his different programs and different appearances and whatnot. So he had an upper leg as far as that goes to be able to get that. But he's really utilized it to really get his message out. And you see his responses. Thought-provoking would be always what I would say that Donald does that really helps him. His social media message is actually something that people pay attention to. So he's done a tremendous job really being able to garner a lot of interest through social media.
Now, when you go to social media, Twitter, anything else, you go there for knowledge or you go there for entertainment. Isn't it fair to say that Donald Trump, with his reality shows, with the kind of person that he is, it's entertainment that he grabbed on the early stages? The insults, the snark, whatever it is, that's what people want in 140 characters or less. They don't want to be educated. They want to be entertained.
No, definitely in the early stages, I think that he definitely gained value through the fact that his tweets and whatnot were very engaging and ultimately very, in many cases, controversial. So he was able to kind of utilize that in the initial stages almost as a form of entertainment. But ultimately, he's been able to leverage it a lot more now into what appears to be a very legitimate candidacy.
Is it fair to say that the other candidates look at what Donald Trump is doing and that does instill just a little bit of fear? Because at this stage, they're not going to catch him.
It's going to be difficult to catch him. And I think it's also interesting to look at just how the number of followers and social media influence has really kind of lined things up. Donald's at the forefront. Hillary is behind Donald. Then you get to Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, and then Kasich in the last position with really limited social engagement. So ultimately, if you really look at it, I'm not sure it's a true depiction of what really happens in the actual election, but reality would tell you that, social media now is very much in direct correlation with public opinion.
All right, Ken, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. You become the person right now who is talking to the rest of the candidates sitting out there. They all know that Donald Trump has beaten the daylights out of them on Twitter. What do they do to, if they can, turn it around?
I mean, honestly, the best thing I think that would work, clearly the sound bites from Trump, clearly his comments have been things that people jump off of. And I think that what's really needs to happen would be if someone truly wants to make a run at Trump, they need to confront Trump dead on and really be able to force him to respond to them and then ultimately get into kind of a one-on-one debate with Trump. And that would be their only hope at really being able to beat him, would be that they could somehow beat him at his own game.
Have we also found out, though, that through Twitter specifically, there's a phrase I heard recently, the angry Twitterverse. And it would seem to many people that that's a redundancy. What Twitter has done in so many ways, it has opened up the anger of this country because people are learning those 140 characters. They're able to spit it out. We've never tapped into this before. I don't think it's possible that anybody could have guessed this kind of anger.
No, and admittedly now with things like Twitter and social media in general, there's platforms for everyone to voice their opinion and be able to be seen because of who they're following and ultimately what hashtag they're at. So ultimately, everyone has the opportunity to have a platform. Everyone can voice their opinion, and ultimately, it's created a scenario where you can see a lot of varying different opinions out there. But right now, I think Trump has the inside track on the opinion that's really going to matter, as he seems to be the forefront for what the candidates are doing right now.
I got about 30 seconds here. I guess maybe one thing is don't try to out-snark Donald Trump. He's got everybody beat already.
I would say that that's pretty much the case. I think that trying to go toe-to-toe with him and basically battling him at his game would be the only way, though, for some people to actually be able to see the candidates as relevant, as many just kind of seem to slide off at this point.
All right, don't forget, once again, go to the website, Webamax. Check it out, Webamax.com. Find out a little more about what they're doing. Webamax.com, I got it right, Ken?
You got it right.
Indeed. There you go. Check that one out. Learn a little bit more what they're doing and find out more about this phenomenon indeed. Ken Wisnefski, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Tell us what you think about this. When Donald Trump tweets, does he basically beat everybody else? Is there any way that you can see anybody beating Donald Trump in the war on social media? You tell us. We'll talk about it. Stay with us. The Hardline continues.